Harry's wife. Make her queen. Yes, a shitty herald is required for this particular analysis. GOTV, with the enigmatically named web desk, tells us Harry's wife mocked after supporter launches petition requesting King Charles to make her queen. What fresh lunacy is this? It can only be some Epsilon Moron-driven sugar nonsense. Harry's wife has been mocked after a Sussex supporter launched a petition demanding King Charles consider the Duchess as a worthy candidate for the coronation and succession to the royal crown. Oh dear. In the petition, the King has been requested to the Duchess of Sussex rightful place as the Queen of England. Only an idiot, an imbecile, a moron would suggest that she has the position as Queen of England. In her deluded world, of course, she believes that she's the Queen. That's why she's always behaved in the manner that she has. The petition was widely circulated on various social media websites, with supporters of the British royal family mocking the Sussex squad for making what has been called ridiculous demands. Thousands of people saw the petition when it was posted online by the petitioner, who has a handful of followers. The petition reads as follows, and I would recommend that at this juncture, if you're holding anything that is a fluid, that you put it down, that you certainly don't have any liquid in your mouth, that if you're eating, finish chewing so you avoid choking, and that generally do not be operating heavy machinery. Whereas it is the solemn duty of this petitioner to present a formal plea to the most noble and exalted King Charles of England, sovereign of the realm, with regard to the accession and succession of the royal crown. Whereas this petitioner, imbued with a fervent desire to uphold the sanctity of the monarchy, hath with great consternation observed the prevailing practices of the said realm. Whereas the said practices have hitherto resulted in the exclusion of the most illustrious and admirable Duchess, spelt D-U-T-C-H-E-S-S. They are fucking useless, aren't they? Duchess, Harry's wife, from the rightful and legitimate ascension to the throne, to wit, the crown of England. Whereas it is the firm conviction of this petitioner that heretofore the said Duchess, misspelt again, has exemplified an extraordinary degree of grace, poise, and decorum befitting a monarch of the highest order. Whereas it is the fervent belief of this petitioner that the coronation of the said Duchess, misspelt again, Harry's wife, would be a source of great joy, you're fucking kidding me, an inspiration, not a chance, to the populace of the realm, and an impetus for the propagation of the lofty ideals of the monarchy. The lofty ideals of fucking Harry's wife, you mean? Whereas it is the fervent wish of this petitioner that the said King Charles, in his infinite wisdom and compassion, would consider the merits of the said Duchess, misspelt, Harry's wife, and make a just and noble decision in this matter. Now, therefore, this petitioner, in the name of all that is just and fair, doth humbly implore and beseech the said King Charles to consider the said Duchess, misspelt again, Harry's wife, as a worthy candidate for the coronation and succession to the royal crown, and to grant her the rightful place as the Queen of England, to the everlasting glory and honour of the monarchy. Are you fucking retarded? This, of course, gives us the measure of what the Sussex squad are about, how dim-witted they are, and how many of them are just as deluded as their queen. It wouldn't surprise me if Harry's wife wrote this herself, because after all, she suffers from the delusion that she believes that she ought to be queen. Notwithstanding the fact that there are several people ahead of her in the line of succession, and of course she would only be queen by marriage to Gingerbollocks, The fact is, she still believes that she ought to be that queen. She's always thought that. Indeed, because she's not that clever, she probably thought that somehow she would be queen, and was rather shocked and disappointed to find out that Harry doesn't get a turn at being king and thus she becomes queen, but rather he would only become king if something awful befell Prince William and his children. Of course, they're all conscious of the "we're only one plane crash away from the throne" observation that Harry's wife made, exemplifying her lack of emotional empathy and sense of entitlement. But once again it shows in crystal clear clarity the idiocy of the Sussex squad, and the way that they can't even spell her name correctly or title correctly. Ordinarily, they misspell her name. They've actually spelt it correctly this time, but they've got the title wrong, somehow thinking that she's from the Netherlands. Fantastic country that is. No doubt they are utterly relieved that she has nothing to do with them. Instead, the Sussex squad continue, in their dwindling numbers of course, to support her. But as I mentioned, this might even be the work of Harry's wife. Would she do something like this? Absolutely. After all, what else is she doing? She's only putting in an hour a week working for Archwell. The rest of the time, she's looking in the mirror, tasering Harry's pink pods, devising new fashion tragedies to wear, and generally lazing about. She, of course, as we know, courtesy of Tom Bower's investigative work, scours social media to see what people write about her, and undoubtedly will operate some accounts where she puts forward observations about herself in order to maintain her facade and to nullify threats to control that appear. And therefore, given that she, 1, has plenty of time on her hands, 2, is a deluded narcissist, 3, her facade matters so much to her, 4, she believes that she should be queen, it wouldn't be a surprise if she either wrote this herself or bunged somebody a few dollars in some far-flung country and basically said, "Look, dimwit, I need you to write this about the Duchess of Sussex to compel the king to make her the queen. Because, of course, she should be queen, shouldn't she?" And the dumbfuck member of the Sussex squad will gladly do this as they, without question, seek to undertake anything which supports their queen. Meanwhile, of course, this then enters a more mainstream publication and invites ridicule, quite properly so. And as always, this demonstrates the dumbfuckery of Harry's wife. That, let us assume she was behind this, it then has the collateral consequence of inviting more ridicule. If she wasn't behind it, then the fact of her supporters doing this shows the contempt with which they are held and she is held because it's such an idiotic idea. And that rather than people go, "Oh yes, it's quite funny, isn't it? How sweet," people deride it and mock it because that's the status she now has, which, as you know, repeatedly causes a problem for her. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.